can't look you in the face. I don't wanna have to lie. I wanted this love to survive. Now when I look in your I feel paralyzed.
So, update for everyone. We have the OESL semifinals just starting up. And we have a change on the Dolphins. So their jungler is switching over. So it is Marco from the Stratford Bonobos who is going to swap in for the Dolphins as their jungler. He's also a diamond level jungler. So the elos are going to be similar, but the jungler for the Dolphins will be available for Game 2 and if needed for Game 3. We're just a little bit late with one of his games. And already you can see the Dolphins must have been watching the Markham Narwhals stratospheric playoff run, running the gauntlet, and they're banning the Vayne and the Kane, possibly two of their best performing champions. So switching that up, we're going to see the Lulu come out as the support. So I believe only one of the games has been played with the Lulu. And then Zach and Cassiopeia, we've both seen. Flex 159, very, very adept at this Cassiopeia. Probably his best champion as seen so far. And Coin Flip Factor also has shown very, very strong Zach games. He's able to elastic slingshot into the fight and then use his Q with near perfect accuracy. So getting that consistent CC down. Rounding out the first three picks is the Olaf jungle. It's a strong pick, especially when you're seeing the CC of Cassiopeia and Zach. Olaf generally works really well into CC. He can also bully around the Zach early on in skirmishes and in the jungle. So the ban of the Kai'Sa. We did see the Kai'Sa last week for Vayne 80 carry on the Markham Narwhals. Also plays the Ezreal. And here they're going to keep Ezreal up. Let's see what this ban is. A Nivea ban. Okay, so this blue buff ban here is a Nivea. And then here, they banned out 280 carries, and they're purposely leaving the Ezreal open. This has to... as you can see, they actually picked their Ezreal. So this is very, very key. They're really, really pinching the 80 carry pool. This is the strategy of the Dolphins. And here you're seeing it in pick ban. They ban out Vayne. They first pick the Ezreal, ban out the other two most played 80 carries for the Markham Narwhals. He's got to dig really, really deep into his champion pool. If you're looking for Ezreal counters, personally, I like the Caitlyn. You see a lot of people doing the Draven. Again, not as many people pick the Draven, but does really well into Ezreal. You really can't trade shot for shot. And we're going to see how this strategy goes, putting 4 of your 5 bans into the bot lane, and specifically banning 380 carries and picking one of the contested ones. Okay, so the Yasuo here, this looks like a Yasuo top. You have seen, we did see once in the playoffs, Flex, the mid laner, did play Yasuo once, I believe in the first week. Okay, no, now this is completely changed up. The Yasuo looks like it's going to be the bot lane. Yasuo Lulu with Zac in the jungle, Malphite top. We did see Swootermans pick up the Malphite and did well into the Mordekaiser. Well, as in he did not give any deaths in lane. Held onto his tower as long as possible and was able to get involved in those mid-game team fights with Malphite so excels at. So, picking comfort and a classic counter pick. Going back a few seasons, the Vladimir into the Malphite has been a staple, especially when you've seen it in pro play Vladimir does really well into Malphite, and there's not a lot Malphite can do. Even if he gets ganked, if he gets a gank, Malphite is normally able to not get any sort of kills onto Vladimir, and he just continually pokes. So I really like seeing what's going on here. The bot lane strategy of bans and getting that last pick counter pick of the Vladimir into the Malphite. So far, if you're looking at these comps, if you're looking at the top side of the map, you like what the Dolphins is bringing out. If you're looking at the bottom side of the map, I like what the Narwhals are bringing out. Except that Yasuo Lulu is gonna have, you have to do very, very carefully with that. Normally the Lulu is picked with a attack speed marksman. That's the standard. When you see supports that go with the Yasuo, normally you're seeing things like the Nautilus, you're seeing things like the Thresh, you know, heavier CC tanks. Even the Malphite you often see in the bot lane. This Markham Narwhals comp, the more you look at it, if we were not looking at any sort of history, you could even think that Malphite was in the bot lane. But just seeing how these playoffs have progressed, you know that the top lane of Markham likes to play this Malphite, and we have seen the support grab this up once so far. For scaling, they look fairly similar between these two teams. This makes you wonder, where is the jungle pressure going to go when you're looking at these two comps? Olaf looking to invade, looking to fight for those early scuttles. Zach looking to get early ganks, help his team get ahead. And Marco, who we've seen in Season 4, is known for aggressive and innovative jungle pathing. And the Olaf is just going to facilitate that. These are all lanes, the jungle, everything is interesting. There's no snoozer of a lane. There's it's so key where the focus is put between these two teams. And if you see the Dolphins lose this game, you could see them change their draft strategy. This is a very, very targeted strategy. And it's causing Vaden 80 carry to play Yasuo. I'll just take a quick peek at this playoff picture. There you have it. There we are. Week 3, best of 3. Dolphins coming from the first spot, 2-0ing their first playoff series, but then getting 2-0 themselves against the Belleville Mole Rats. And this is the Dolphins team that finished the regular season 8 wins, 2 losses. Now, facing the Markham Narwhals, they finished their regular season 3 wins, 7 losses. So they were the last place team here coming into playoffs, and they're facing against the first place team. Now, if you're looking at recent series and how the teams are playing recently, the Dolphins being 2-0'd last week is the most recent series that they've played. Whereas, look, you've seen Markham won 5 out of their 6 games here. And this week, this round 3 that played on Monday, yesterday, as the series was rescheduled, this was so much action in this one series. This final game is a must-watch. If you're looking, at least so far, we're in the semifinals now. If you're looking to watch a single game, this Game 3 between Gold Jungle and Markham Narwhals is the game to watch. There's so many highlights of this series that I had to be a little bit more selective when picking the clips to do for the weekly highlight roundup. But we've seen time and time again in the LCK, the team that has the momentum tends to be the team that will win out. Here it was, the regular season. And here we have the Dolphins. They 2-0 this. They tie with Gold Jungle. You see, look, they beat the Markham Narwhals 2-0 in the second week of the season. Here, 2-0ing. Here, 2-0ing. So they won their last 2 weeks of the year. But then they ended up, and then they won the first season. They won their last 6 games in a row, are the Dolphins. But then lose 2-0 to Belleville Mulrats. And I was just taking a peek at the highest win rate champions for 10.11. It is a new patch. Things are still being adjusted. We see Fiddlesticks drop off of the number 1 spot. Lost about 1.5% in recent days. And now we see Singed up at the top. So Singed has risen, and Rengar as well has risen. That's Rengar top. So some more specialty picks. Definitely some one tricks playing these that cause their win rate to be oh so high. You're seeing the most picked champion that has the highest win rates. Fiddlesticks, Wukong, and then all the way down to Talon. And while Champion Select just loads up, I gotta tell you, this story of the Markham Narwhals has gotta be the most interesting way to have these playoffs go along. The team that finished 3-7 slid in the last place playoff team, couldn't afford to lose a single series, has just went 3 series in a row, 2-0, 2-0, 2-1, in which in the third game they come back from a 9,000 and change goal differential. They're down 9,000. And they come right back. Wow. And then here, against what a lot of people would have thought would have been the favorites. They were the favorites going into this playoffs. Again, matchmakers for OESL, how you're splitting these teams up. This is exactly how you do it. And having a meeting with the team captain of the Markham Narwhals, he was saying switching up their jungle role was actually a big part of why they're being successful now. So partway through the season, they put the coin flip factor in jungle, and that made all the difference. They were able to build a little bit of momentum, win a few more games towards the end of the season, and then in the playoffs hit their stride. So seeing that something's not working, being able to switch the team up just a little bit, and you're seeing this vast increase in success. But this is the second last playoff series, semifinals here. You're going to see the finals on Thursday, best of 5. You're going to be seeing all of you there. And we have the game starting up now. Remember, the Olaf is the sub. He is the sub, but he is a very good player, and jungle is his main role. You could argue that the Dolphins here still have an advantage. That even with this jungler that's never played with the team, as long as they hold it together, the other 4 players have played really well this season. Could be enough. And there we are seeing how this shapes up. We're seeing, wow, I love how this champion select and these picks and bans went. Look at the Markham Narwhals, Heroes of the Blue. You're seeing Yasuo in mid, Cassiopeia on the bot side. Now that's a favorite pick of mine and has been really, really highly regarded for all of Season 10. What's really fun, you want to play a really fun lane, do Cassiopeia as the carry bot laner, and then do Teemo as your support. Because you can Twin Fang continually on any poison. It works with Singed, and it works with Teemo. That's a real fun bot lane if you want to drag something with your duo, and it works. Vayne 80 carry, digging deep. And if you're reevaluating this bot lane, you really like the Ezreal and the Blitzcrank. Because if you were going to have Yasuo bottom, at least you have a Yasuo against 2 champs that have projectile skills. But now with Cassiopeia down there, Blitzcrank could pull either of them. I'm sure he'd rather pull the Lulu, but if you pull the Cassiopeia and get that knockup, might be able to outdamage. And they're flex with that first trade. What you've seen in the past and how the Markham Narwhals have been the most successful is the jungler putting a lot of pressure, coin flip factor, into this mid lane. So doing the combo of Lucian and Zac in the mid lane, making sure to hover. And there you see flash for flash. Mid lane, both of them one shot. And you're going to see a lot of this. Ezreal is going to be pushing in this Cassiopeia. Blitzcrank is going to land the first hook with the knockup and just gets some good early damage. And nice on Vayne 80 carry, not flashing in that scenario. I was going to keep that flash up. Did go teleport. So is looking to get that back with the tier and then get back to lane as quick as possible. Also find his way around this map. Pick up big waves. Possibly make a play or two. You can with that petrifying gaze. You can make that work. Coming up from behind the enemy team. Not as nice as, let's say, a Malphite, but still pretty good. Looking at the summoners, everything is very standard. The ruins, you have the glacial augment on the Nico, but here Blitzcrank putting the exhaust on one and hooking the other. They're not going to get a kill here just yet, but that was the heal of Lulu going out. Still the flash of Cassiopeia remaining. They're still in a situation that can work for them. Playing against this Blitzcrank, having your flash is so key. It's like having your blanket or your teddy bear as a child. You know, you just feel warm and safe with it around. But if you don't have it around, the world is so scary and dark and cold. And here we have Zac. Coin flip factor is going to jump in. Blitzcrank lands the hook onto Lulu, but he's going to be pulling him into 3 members. First blood going over to Lulu, wanting to make sure to get that kill before Zac goes down. Zac's passive is still up. And so far so good for the Malphite. Even CS versus the ranged top opponent. Now Vlad's in a situation here where even going CS for CS in the top lane, if Malphite's not able to get it to the other side of the map and help his team, Vlad is going to scale so much better as the 3rd or 4th items come along. We'll be able to split push much easier as well. And Marco showing he knows how to jungle. There's the first dragon being contested over, and we need to get back over to this dragon. Coin flip factor comes in, and Marco just backs off, not wanting to go down with the ship. Olaf might ride on a longboat, but doesn't appear to be the captain. They're both hitting level 6 in the top. Now you see the mid laners as well. Double Doran's Blade. And Nico's going to go in with the ult. Got down to 2 bars. He's going to need a skill to hit. And there it is. First kill in the mid lane. 11 Contacu. Very, very even game so far. You saw the Dolphins try to start that early dragon, but Coin Flip Factor was having none of it. Jumped right in there, and because Olaf was already brought so low by the dragon, any sort of contest he got out of there, and he would have died if he stayed around. So good move on Marco. Seeing that contest, moving back and continuing his farm. He is going for that first item warrior on Olaf. Looking to do that extra damage. There you see Olaf moving towards the bot side. So far so good. There, the hook landing. And deciding not to dive. That is probably a good decision. Although with that undertow, that brings... So here we're having mid lane action. Nico going to use that ult. Really nice by Flex to get out of that. Passing through those minions, getting out of the range. Nico caught Yasuo with the first ult, but not able to get him with the second. And there, just going just a little bit too far forward. Once again, we see Coin Flip Factor going into the mid lane. TP coming out. This is from the top lane. This is going to be Vlad. Going to be helping his jungler. Just wanting to make sure that fight didn't turn. In hindsight, he's going to miss out a little bit of CS there from the top, but these early team fights, so pivotal in starting who's going to be in the lead, who's going to be able to take agency of this game. So far, Markham Narwhals with a small gold lead in the first dragon. Look for this mid lane. This mid lane is very likely where these kills and deaths are going to happen. We've seen the junglers show up there. We've seen Nico pick up a 1v1 kill already on Yasuo. Despite being down on CS now, does have that kill. Fairly equal gold. Rift Herald being pinged out. Once again, Coin Flip Factor is going to be stopping this objective. And he's going to go down first, but he's got a passive, and Olaf does not. Once Zach is up, he's going to be able to help turn this fight. Using the Elastic Slingshot, but into the Vlad is why Vlads are so difficult to gank. But here, Malphite is a tank, and he is able to get inside. Tanks just enough, and aptly done. Malphite and Vlad. Malphite and Zach going against the Vlad. Waiting for that pool to go down. We'll see. Yes, Zach is going to... Oh, he was thinking of starting it. Decided to clear the ward out first. He's going to get the scuttle first. You have Olaf pinging the Infernal Dragon. He's thinking that it's going to be a trade. That in all likelihood, the Rift Herald is being taken at this moment. Now we might as well, instead of trying to go contest something that might be gone before we get there, let's go and take the dragon on the other side. Gotta hand it to the Malphite, playing this top matchup really well. Blitzcrank's going in. Gonna land that ult. That's very, very key for the silence. And if you silence Cassiopeia, that's a lot of her damage. Hide and barrel, picking up a kill. The farm is even in bot lane, but 1 kill apiece. Lulu picking up that first blood. She's able to pick up that chalice. Moby boots. Was able to be in different places quicker. And when she's there, can do a little bit more. Ezreal wanting that last plate, and he's just going to go back and buy. As he's going to be facing a Cassiopeia with a Lost Chapter, Blasting Wand, and a Tear. And Ezreal deciding that a couple of daggers is what he's going to want. 2,500 gold for Markham Narwhals. And 2-0-2 from their jungler coin flip factor. Despite Kayn being banned, he's showing he's still a factor in this game. Blitzcrank moving in. Because Olaf's there, it's going to force the flash out of Lulu. TP from Malphite, and he's going to lose quite a bit in the top lane. He's going to have to make something work here. The flash of coin flip factor, and then Swooterman's going over to the side. There's a bit of a mixed signal. One player going for one, the other going for the other. And Markham Narwhals is not going to like how this has ended up. They are going to pick up this kill. Oh, excellent stopwatch here from Nico. He's going to do as much damage as possible before going down. But despite all of this, Vlad getting solo gold and solo turret plates here in top. And there, 2 plates are down from the top lane. And that's almost certainly going to allow Vlad to finish his first item. Plates going down for both sides. The difference is the kills. So 6-2. Dragons going at 1 apiece. Mountain Dragon for the Narwhals. Infernal Dragon for the Dolphins. And what a maritime adventure we have here. Narwhals versus the Dolphins. And we'll see which player gets to be the Ahab in this whale story. There we have it, gank on top. Malphite using the Q and walking away. Seeing the Olaf early on. Q for Q being traded on bottom. You see the jungle being invaded here on the top side. Olaf will be able to take the blue buff. And another camp or two. Let's see if he also decides to do Rift Herald. He did just see Zach in bot lane about 15-20 seconds ago. So he's going to know approximately where he is and where he isn't. And just taking the blue and the Gromp. We're going to head back to base. Appears that Malphite is starting this, and he absolutely is. They've had this vision here, this vision ward, for the last minute or so. They know it hasn't been warded. It's going to be the one and only Rift Herald. And in the quarterfinals, you saw the Markham Narwhals take 2 mid turrets and get a charge onto the inhibitor with their Rift Herald. That was in game 2, I believe. So it has been a winning factor for them in these games. Gold lead still at about 2,000. Blitzcrank fighting the Yasuo. As the Yasuo, you know something's up when Blitzcrank just starts fighting you in your own jungle. Like, what's happening? It must be invading. Eco's going to stop the Zac from moving, but a big ult from Yasuo. Flex pressing the R button at the right time. Nice setup from the team. And Coinflip Factor has not had enough yet. Big and strong. And taking them all out. Getting the knockups, getting the CC. Doing the elastic slingshot back into the team fight and re-engaging that. That's 4 kills to none. And a quick lead here. Markham Narwhals. If you're the Dolphins, though, you're not. This isn't game over. You don't even have your full team here. If you lose this game, it's really easy to say, hey, you know what? We didn't have our full team. But you know what? In game 2, we're going to have our first place finishing team all together. And we've continually beat these guys and shown against the competition we're the better team. This is not over by a long shot. And frankly, this game is not over by a long shot. You're going to need to see the Vladimir do some pretty terrific split pushing. Or you're going to have to see a flank. A flank into the team fight, onto the back line, ulting and then pooling, followed by your team coming in. You're going to have to do something like that. Of course, the blitz hook is always available, but so far has not been a big factor. He's hit a good percentage of his hooks down in the bot lane. Got his Ezreal kill, but hasn't been as useful mid-game. And there, the flash into the knockup. Coinflip Factor, knowing that CC is king, and Zac is the king of CC. Gonna jump right in there against the Olaf. Double kill so far, 5-0 and 6, and he's making a tank into a carry. Once again, another strong performance for Coinflip Factor. He'll have the occasional game where he won't do well, but this game is excellent. Pull here against Flex, and there the Blitzcrank coming up with a real big hook. He had to hit that. Vladimir is going to try to get out. Nico is going to try to help him with the Glacial Augment, but getting dove under turret, 14-3. And even with the blitz hook into tower, it's still not enough to turn that team fight. Narwhals winning all over the map. I'm very impressed how they won this jungle matchup, first of all. Did well in the top matchup against a hard counter. And then getting a number of your 80 carries and support banned out in bot lane. And your second best picked up. You go ahead and play Cassiopeia bot lane. And look at that. Only 1 death so far for this bot lane of Markham Narwhals that had all those bans thrown at it. Most certainly you're going to see in this game 2, you're going to see the Dolphins change up their pick ban strategy. Look for them to ban the OPs. You can ban the Vayne, you can pick the Ezreal, you can ban the Ezreal. Those all work. But the Cassiopeia could be one you take away. The Zac could be one you take away. Hell, even this Malphite in the games that he's been playing, making sure not to give up too much in lane and then being able to get into these team fights. And there, Coinflip Factor is going to go in. They're going to stop the Baron. Nico just a little bit off with that ult. Not going well for the Dolphins. 4 for 1. Let's see what the call is. At first they go towards mid, but then they switch back towards the Baron, and it appears like Baron is what they're going to settle on. With that dragon coming up within about 45 seconds, could see them take this Baron, do the resets, and then head towards that dragon. Because they have good health bars, they did take that third dragon, that ocean dragon. Again, it is possible for them to go right to that dragon, but they're going to decide to send Cassiopeia mid to push that mid, and then the 4 of them head back. Cassio pushes a single wave and then heads back. Blitzcrank, the first one to the dragon, and they're not going to start it right away. That's going to be the Narwhal. Zac jumping right in, but how this formation is going with Zac top and Nico mid, it doesn't look like they're going to contest. Marco might choose to disagree. Red team stolen the Ocean Dragon. He's able to do it, Marco. But remember, Vladimir's still pushing here in the top side, so they're going to lose this team fight, but win the dragon is the Dolphins. So they lose 2 members, pick up that dragon, even the dragon up at 2 apiece. 1 ocean apiece, whereas the Narwhals have that mountain. And the Dolphins have the Infernal. I know what the kills are looking, I know what the gold is looking, but this game is not over. Zac, though, feeling extremely confident, is saying, Rav, I disagree with you. I'm going to dive their turret. And his allies are backing him up. Knocking down that tower. Is the Narwhals in the back line. Malphite is going to do it into the triple ult from Yasuo. And this cleanup is like Mr. Clean with a stubborn stain. You'll have a smile on your face when you switch to Mr. Clean. 25-4. Gonna shake that off, Dolphins. Take a quick peek at these stats. There we go. And we're all set to jump right into this next game. Well, how that game went, it was even for the first 10 minutes or so, 12 minutes. Then you saw Markham Narwhals on the back of the blob, Zac, being able to win those skirmishes, win those team fights. Olaf never really got started. Didn't get a kill for a while. Had to back off that first dragon. And it looks like the Dolphins are just taking a minute to set up. Probably having a quick Discord chat. Well, while we're looking at that, we can quick peek at the duo tier list. Ash Saraka still on top like they were last week. Senna and Malachi number 2, but as you can see, the gap has grown. Ash Saraka is increased substantially at 57%.
Just can't let this go. Every last chance I had is gone, but I just can't let you know.
While they're getting set up, I will be right back. Semifinals coming up, Game 2, Ontario Esports League.
Just can't let you know.
All right, and the guys were fast. We're right back. Picks and bans. You're watching this live. Dolphins keeping with their first pick, first ban Vayne. Same second ban. Same third ban. All right. So the first series of picks and bans haven't changed. I do expect them to pick Ezreal here. First pick Ezreal. So that's the strategy. You know, I like this strategy. You don't necessarily have to do the other 80 carry bans, but banning Vayne, picking Ezreal limits Vayne 80 carry's way of carrying this game from the bot lane. Markham's going to start this off exactly the same as well. Cassiopeia, Zac. Again, why change what's worked for you? Zac showing up really big. Coin flip factor. Congratulations. You had a really, really good game 1. But now you're going to be against the main jungler of the Dolphins, Maddie, the Grandmaster player. And they're going to continue with the same bot lane. And the Blitzcrank has to be a comfort pick. They're going to switch up this top lane here, picking up the Ornn. We saw success last on Monday here in the quarterfinals with Sudermans changing his pick into the Mordekaiser, going for a tank, and that seemed to work. Let's see if the Dolphins top laner is going to find the same success. Remember, Vladimir was played in the first game. Now it appears to be an Ornn, unless we're going to see something fishy like an Ornn mid, but in all likelihood, not likely to happen. Markham with the exact same 3 picks. Could go ahead and take that Lulu. Picking Lulu into a Blitzcrank, you have to be confident with the pick. Generally, as the Blitzcrank, you like this. You like seeing Lulu. It's got to be one of the harder picks for Lulu to play into. But both teams seem to be practicing, and they seem to want to pick their comps that they've already developed. Now with the ending bans, Echo and Karma, as well as Yasuo and Syndra. So taking out the Yasuo, they did not want a repeat of game 1. Oh, in the top lane of Markham, picking Mordekaiser for the first time this playoffs. Normally, he was playing into Mordekaiser. Turns out, he can play it too. Now, when you're looking at the Markham team, you're seeing 4 AP champions. So, Ornn, really good into that. You can go ahead and prioritize Magic Resist. If you're the Blitzcrank even, you can make that work. So 4 APs and an AD. You have an AP heavy team for Markham. And when you organize your team in that certain fashion, it lets the enemy be able to itemize towards it. Lee Sin could always build like a Hex Drinker in the middle of the game, to help prevent against some of this AP damage. It allows that option to do so. Blitzcrank normally doesn't have enough gold to do a lot early on, but as a 3rd or 4th item, you very well could see a Magic Resist item out there.
The weak fear the shadows.
Fear controls them.
I'm curious to see the 80 carry player who's playing Ashe for the first time in this playoffs. Remember, it was banned in game 1, along with Kai'Sa.
Impure fools.
Both teams have a lot of ways to start the fight. From the Dolphins, you have the Ornn and the Annie and the Blitzcrank. Whereas with Markham, you have the Zac and the Ashe. I really like the combination of Zac jumping in and Lulu ulting Zac for multiple knockups. Of course, you like to save your ult for a carry, but if you're going to guarantee knockups and an unkillable Zac in the middle of a team fight, that's also useful. seen a lot more play of Annie ever since her E buff. Only seeing her mid lane though. You're not seeing her as support. And I know it's been a few years, but I remember the Annie support. You poke with your auto and then, you know, engage with your stun or counter engage with your stun. And then when your ult comes up, well, you just keep using that and you play off that every time.
We must all make choices.
Very curious to see how Maddie plays with this Lee Sin. Highest rated player on their team, missed game 1. A little bit late from the party. We have our completed team comps for game number 2. Semi-final action here. First game was a stomp. At about the 12-minute mark, Markham Narwhals able to get those kills lead, able to get that gold lead, picked up that first Rift Herald, and never looked back from there. How key was the Dolphins jungler not being there for the first game? To me, it looked like it was quite a bit, quite a big difference. I bet quite a bit it's going to be a closer game. So the Mordekaiser versus Ornn lane here in the top, you see this frequently. Ornn's generally just trying to sustain through that lane, make sure to get his 2 items, and start getting his ornaments. And move into the mid game and start those team fights with your ultimate. Get that Ornn horn out there. Whereas Mordekaiser, you have some kill pressure with a good gank from Zach. With Ornn playing a little too aggressive in the 1v1, you can outdamage this top laner. Once again, Zach shouldn't be winning the early game jungle, and he's against another early game jungler in Lee Sin. But if he did what he did against Olaf, contest those early objectives with your team, and keep mid safe, show up in the top lane when you're needed, you've got a good chance of winning this game. So in the mid lane, definitely like Cassiopeia against Annie. Annie is generally trying to poke with her autos and get to level 6. Cassiopeia does well into low range champions. So Annie has a very high range auto attack, but her spells, her skills are very, very short range, which plays right into Cassiopeia's hand. So look for Cassiopeia to take advantage of that. So if you're liking the early game pressure, I like the lanes of the red side here, Markham Narwhals. Whereas for early game, I like the Lee Sin and their bot lane. The Ezreal Blitzcrank is a winning lane against this Lulu Ashe, assuming Blitzcrank hits some hooks. So we'll see if this plays out in this top side, bot side, where they're going to play weak, where they're going to play strong. In last game, coin flip factor Zach prioritized the mid lane. He's been very successful when doing that.
Everybody's got their goals, but don't
All right, we have the semifinals, game 2, ready to start. Markham Narwhals up 1-0 in a quick game 1. But the Dolphins not having their season-leading team all together. Their jungler, what kind of looked like the glue for this team, was not there. And here we're going to have the early invade. The flash is going to come out. They're going to be able to get the coin flip factor. Exhaust going out, but also going to take out the passive. And here they're going to be gifting this kill over to Ezreal. Hide and barrel. Getting the love from his team. Gonna pick up that first blood. We'll see if he buys boots, what he gets with that. I'm gonna go with the mana crystal. Gonna try to have a little bit more of that mana to be able to poke, try to get that tier as quick as possible. This is the lane that you want. If you're the bot lane, if you have Blitzcrank being picked, you have 2 immobile opponents in the bot side. And then when you're going to the mid game, there's only 1 tank. Only Zach is the tank. Got a lot of opportunities. He wasn't able to really get it done in the game 1, but his team was significantly behind. It's hard to make hooks when your team's behind because often you're just pulling a member closer to you to finish you off. The stun is charged up. Go ahead and follow it up with some autos. A little bit of minion block there. It's going to mean that Flex is going to win that trade, and this is what you're kind of expecting. How that first fight went out is how you expect this lane to happen. But here, early gank from Matty. He's going right up to the top lane. He's got the red buff. He's going to get the slow off, and the flash being used from Mord, and that was the minimum he was going to use. Smart from Matty not to follow that up under turret. Be another thing if you had your Ornn right there to follow up with damage, but he did not. He would have had to continue that resonating strike right into the tower. So if this bot lane, if Lulu and Ashe wants to push this lane, they can. Now it's not always advisable because then you get the Blitzcrank underneath his tower, and if he lands a hook underneath his own tower, it just amplifies that damage so much more. Really depends how you prefer to play the lane. Early damage trade going in the Mordekaiser's favor. The push going for the Ornn. First hook going just a little bit wide. The arrow volley did hit. Either side weak enough to really want to press it, anything. Once again, Annie going in, but the W is going to ground the opponent of Annie. Fight for fight. Once again, Lee Sin comes in through the backside. There's no flash for Mordekaiser anymore, and he's going to need the follow-up damage from Ornn, and Ornn's just a little bit slow to follow up with these. That really should have been a kill for Lee Sin, but coin flip factor is going to be at the right place at the right time. He's going to try to counter this. He's going to get the double stun onto the top lane, but he doesn't like that he has nothing left. Oh, the strike hitting. 2-0-1 from Lee Sin and showing his skill. Matty finding a home in top lane. TP being used mid. Cassiopeia is going to have that down. Did get that tier. And here she is. She's going in. That extra speed from Annie helping her get out. This is going to mean the wave is going to get crashed in mid. Annie's going to be forced to use that TP or lose some minions. Lee Sin moving towards this first dragon. It is a wind dragon. And yep, he's on it right now. Coin flip factor at the top. Looking to get some camps. Did start 0-2, but does have the CS advantage. They're going into the Death Realm. It's going to be really hard to kill Ornn, because it's just generally hard to kill Ornn. Whether you're in the ult or not. And there Ornn got his Catalyst. Not going anywhere anytime soon. Now Annie just used her E, and she's very, very deep with that petrifying gaze. Flex is going to pick that up. This mid-jungle synergy has been Markham Narwhals' way to win games throughout these entire playoffs, and it's not changing now.
Can you dig it?
Ornn going to be able to get the push despite being down in level. Feels strong enough that he's going to TP right into the middle of the lane. Mordekaiser wins that early damage trade. Lee Sin setting up a lane gank, but not wanting to waste too much time there. Kings are going out. Blitz starting it off. This is what he's needed when you play that champion. Lee Sin's going to come in, going to secure that first kill. Bane AD carry's got to be a little bit careful going too deep here because Resonating Strike is up again. And there he goes. He hits it. Gets right under the Ashe. He does have the red buff. Gets under tower. And with that tower shot, being able to pick up that kill. Here's Bane. AD carry getting the kills where possible. Trading that last one. Zac picking up a kill and Ashe. Coin flip factor showing up in top lane, showing up in bot lane, shadowing this Lee Sin. And Annie should be afraid of her shadow right now. The Mace of Justice has come in. There, Resonating Strike hits. Whoa, Maddie, he keeps hitting. He's 4-1-2. He's got 100% kill participation. He's doing everything he can to keep his team in this. Junglers are fighting. In a straight, even fight, you like the Lee Sin in this. Oh, so close. That was the red buff and the minions doing just enough work. And as you can see down below, they're writing Winions. And Lee Sin is saying it's Sunfire, not Winions. So it was the Zac, the Balmy Cinder. Haha. These guys still finding a way to chat with each other, even in this semifinal. Gotta love about this league. Oh, the Blitzcrank, and he's coming out big in Game 2! Game 1 was just a warm-up. Being able to get that pull onto Lulu. Lulu having to ult herself to avoid dying. Blitzcrank might find it a little bit difficult to finish off this play. It's 1 for 1. Goes out. Ezreal now with 3 kills. Got that man immune finished. If you're the Dolphins, you've got a couple of places. You got top lane you can play off of. You can play off a bot lane. Mid's a little bit hard. You did get that first dragon. You got that wind dragon. Next one's coming up in about 40 seconds. There, 30 seconds from now. Moore does have this push. See if he tries to back. He does. Knows that this dragon is coming up. Mordekaiser is going to have TP in about 10 seconds. Ornn's TP is down. So if they prioritize this dragon, they can get it. Is the Narwhals, red team. Gold lead is identical. 18,300 apiece. There the pings are going out for red team. If you're Lee Sin, you've got to know that this is hard. This is difficult to go in for this dragon. There, he tries to, because he's got the easy out. Ash Arrow is going to miss. Annie was very deep. No teleports being used. And there, Zac flashing to get the ult onto Lee Sin. He really wants to take him out. Lee Sin is doing a lot, everything he can to carry this game. Exhaust being used on him. But the Narwhals are going turret diving, and they've got a Zac who's going to tank those turret shots. And what can he do? Look, he's got a chain vest. You can tank turret shots with a chain vest. He's proven it. Lee Sin's going to have some help from his team to be able to carry this game into mid-game. Annie's having a very, very hard time. The matchup is just a difficult one. There's Mordekaiser getting some damage. There we have it. The exhaust into the knockup. Ult being used to give Lee Sin yet another kill, but he's not satisfied with that. Gonna land onto the Zac. And they're just gonna keep chasing Markham. Oh, but Markham's gonna dive back in, despite being down a player. And then here they go. Petrifying Gaze is gonna land on a few of them. She's gonna go down fast though. Trading back is the Annie to shut down the Zac. Lulu heading out the backside. Curious engagement from Coin Flip Factor. Must have been feeling strong. 300 gold bounty now on the Lee Sin. That first turret plate going over to Annie. Couple now for the top laner. Despite losing those 2 kills, it's still even. That enchanted crystal arrow of Ash, though, getting the CC onto Ezreal. It's just long enough for him to be able to win that 1v1 in bot lane. 5 kills, 3 assists for Vayne 80 carry. Being pinched in the champion pool, but showing can play not only Vayne and Ezreal, but showing up on the Ashe. If this team makes the finals, who do you ban out? They've been showing skill every position. Zac gonna hit the slingshot in. Use that ult. Just thinking about, do I want to push in or do I want to go take that Rift Herald? Gonna decide to push it in. It looks like Mordekaiser's gonna start the Rift. But Lee Sin gonna kick right out of the way. Gets that Ash. Going right over the terrain. Ward hopping right behind Ash. Kick back to his team. Got some broad shoulders on this blind monk. 7, 3, and 4. 11 out of 12 kill participation. Right now, if you're Markham Narwhals, you've got to be aware of where this Lee Sin is at all times. He is the biggest threat on the Dolphins. And if you know he's on one side of the map, you can feel confident to make that play on the other side of the map. And Annie with a very early flash there, not wanting to mess around with that. But going back to that, if you're the Narwhals and you haven't seen Lee Sin in about 30 seconds and you don't have a track on him, be very, very dangerous to be able to go ahead and engage on blind team fights. Mordekaiser does have the Rift Herald. It is past the 14-minute mark, so he's no rush to use it. TP is up for Mordekaiser, but not for Orange. So once again, Mord has the TP advantage. Let's see if he uses it this time. Inflict factor very deep. But he's got enough tank and sustain to be able to stay in this backline without going down. Cassiopeia being able to pick up on the back end, and they didn't even need the Mordekaiser to win that fight. A 4-for-1. And with that rift being used, you're going to see even more turret plates going in the favor Markham Narwhals. With no turret plates, but first turret. No other turret was close to being going down. And there, Mordekaiser getting the Death Realm onto Orin, who probably just stayed around just a little bit too late. When you see your tower is going to be taken out like that, unless you know you can win a one-on-one fight, you got to back off of it. And now it's going to mean a second charge right there. But Lee Sin's going to follow it up. He lands the Resonating Strike. Being able to land the Chilling Smite as well. He's going to try to follow that up, but Mord is having none of it. He's saying, I can fight too. I've got the mace. Look at that big thing, that hammer mace thing. He's just swinging around like he knows it's big. It's bigger than the average size. Ash is feeling really confident in this bot lane. 6, 5, and 4. Got a second item now. Just picked up that Hurricane. Now this game has slid into the advantage of Markham Narwhals. 5,000 gold. They have a dragon lead. They've won the last few team fights. And the hooks are coming out. I tell you what, Asian 401 is hitting all kinds of hooks, playing a much better game this game around. Let's see if the Blitzcrank can help get some of these picks in the mid game. Really like how this Blitzcrank is playing. There, once again, the flash! He's able to do it! Huge play from the Blitzcrank. I asked and he delivered, but Zach's going to be going on to the background, and he's so tanky. The team cannot stop him. When you added a Lulu ult on top of that, there's really no stopping him. Now he's even going into the turret. But he knows he's got that passive. He knows he has his team around, and there, with the teleport coming in, he is not going down. Going to make sure to keep those Globlets alive. But who's not had enough is going to be this Cassiopeia, who's taking a tower shot, just takes one last one, and they're just getting kills all over the place, and they're juggling the turret aggro between two turrets. Markham Narwhals just broke this game wide open. 9, 2, and 5. Whoa! And Ash is saying he stole the Penta. Oh, scum. Scum, scum, scum. That level 10 versus level 14 is quite dangerous for the Lee Sin. And now you're starting to get to that moment where even with good Blitzcrank hooks, you can still lose the team fight. If you're getting to a certain level behind, very, very tough. Just means you have to make better decision making around the hooks. And there, Ash is starting this Baron early because he knows he's got the lifesteal that he can heal after that. And this is a 20-minute Baron call with no contest. There we're seeing the pull, but as I'm saying about decision making, pulling the jungler there does not guarantee you get the Baron. Really doesn't change anything. Just getting a little bit of frustration now. Blitz is saying I can hit hooks, but right now in the game state it's not mattering. Now we've seen Markham Narwhals behind more than this and still be able to come back and win in the quarterfinals. See if this #1 team, the Dolphins, are able to do it back to them. Oh, that was a good try there. Gotta hand it to Lulu this game, only dying twice. 17 kill participation. She, once again, is doing what she needs to do. Staying safe, buffing her team. Oh, Blitzcrank once again with the hook, and it's going to be on Mordekaiser. And this could secure them a dragon. That's how they're going to come back. More and more hooks, and it's going to be a 5-on-4. Big team fight going on for the 4th dragon. Lulu getting bursted out. It's going to head back towards the back. And it's going to have to leave that fight. Very weak, though, are the Dolphins. 2 members are retreating. Cassiopeia, though, is going to cause the flash to come out. Zach wants more than just the dragon. He knows how big he is, and he's playing to it. He's keeping Lee Sin off the mat here. He's also kind of just trolling a little bit. Doesn't have to do this. And there, being able to get that Q off to the ward. A lot of players don't know you can do that, but this is twice now that you've seen Coin Flip Factor use that ability with a ward in this series. $12,000 gold up. They're in a 5-on-3. The safe play is to back and reset here. And they're going to kind of do that. They're going to head down towards bot side, but they're going to be very careful while doing it. And there's Blitz pulling the Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser looked like he was baiting that. Went ahead and pulled Blitzcrank into the death realm. He's going to get Blitz under the turret, but that's just to support. Meanwhile, you have the rest of your team pushing bot lane. Orin's going to go. He's going to get the double knockup, but Zach is going to get into the back line, and he's right back deep into the enemy team. Flex is going to walk right through the turret while continually getting hit, just doing all kinds of damage. And it looks like this is going to be it. It looks like the Markham Narwhals are going to continue their Cinderella run. Who's Russell Crowe? Who's playing it? To me, it could be Flex. It could be Coin Flip Factor. You're both superstars. Awesome job, guys. And they pull off a 2-0 semifinal victory here in Season 6. Wow. They stopped that Lee Sin, who was going gargantuan. And there we have the final. Big damage here from the Cassiopeia. She really liked that matchup. Remember, Annie picked into that matchup. Flex is very, very strong with this Cassiopeia. Well, that's a little bit of a quick semifinals, but we got the replays from last week, and you know that there's tons and tons of plays. I had to do on purpose choose less highlight reel performances because there were so many last week. Let's go ahead and take a peek, as we've already had the Markham Narwhals advancing to the finals against the Belleville Mole Rats, who finished 6-4 in the regular season, but did just 2-0 the Dolphins, who for some reason have collapsed in the final rounds of these playoffs. And here, we're going to hop right onto the OESL Twitch channel, where all of you can watch these playoffs if you like them. And action. 0-5 in the act. Gonna go ahead and bring that down and bring the quality right up, because you all deserve 1080p. 0-5, and the action was put towards him. Kindred just saving the Braum right there. You're seeing a situation go from bad to worse, but Kane being able to get the triple knockup. Add that to the damage of Vigar, and they could trade a single kill back, but 3 kills. Nice Kindred ult, saving the team to take this game into the 30-plus minute Vigar mark. E, and there's a good stop. Being able to countering, stop the teleport. Swooterman's trying to get out of there. He's going to be told, you cannot go. You must stay. He's looking to kill as much time as possible. There, just being able to get out. Still being chased on the top, but the team fight is brewing in mid lane. You're seeing Markham Narwhals being able to get their best team fight as of yet. If they can finish off this Lucian, which they do. And that was a 2-0 team fight win despite being down 6,000 or 7,000. Have this jungle control. It is the 20-minute mark, so Baron is up. You're having the Kaiser and the Mordekaiser both on bottom. Remember, teleport's only for Mordekaiser. He really should be using it over here. Aatrox being able to get knocked up from Braum. And it's very, very deep here inside of Markham Narwhal's jungle. And the Yuumi ult is going to be used to try to counter the aggression. Double kill now from Mikhail Tal. And too much damage for Gold Jungle. Until the Kaiser's able to get there. Being able to turn that onto Yasuo. Had a 2 for 2. But you cannot lose Vigar. What was once an adequate trade ended up being disaster. Again, there's a mixed call. You have 3 members here towards the bot side jungle looking for a pick, and here Coin Flip Factor is going to try to get onto the Caitlyn. He goes ahead and lands the slowing smite on. Ult going from Soraka. And now the other 2 members are coming back. You're seeing Mordekaiser being able to aggress towards the backside. Petrifying Gaze being able to knock 3 of them down. And Coin Flip Factor is diving. And with that mid-game Soraka being able to survive that, a 3 for 0. And Coin Flip is worried as he keeps looking backwards. We'll check this early jungle play. Mikhail Tal took his Raptors and then moved immediately into the enemy jungler. Coin Flip Factor invaded to start. Wasn't able to get that first camp. Tal, he's got the level advantage. That's why he ignored his red buff. He's going to get some help here from Swooterman with the Coin Flip Factor. I believe Mikhail Tal got that camp. Oh no, the camp did not go down. But First Blood's going over to Coin Flip Factor. Being able to pick that up. The trade going over to Mordekaiser, and Coin Flip Factor is very fortunate to pick that up. If they do not get this inhibitor, you're going to have to question the Malphite going down. And yes, they don't pick it up. Instead, they're going to get ulted from the Mordekaiser, who's going to get damaged in turn. He's got one shot left from going down. Flex being able to pick that up, but it's going to be retreating towards the backside, trying to get the damage onto the Akali. We're seeing Ace in the hole go down, be able to finish the Kane off. And there, with the perfectly timed hourglass, Pengu doing the golden penguin dance and using the hourglass at the right time. He is like the Emperor, standing still like that. You bronze statue, you. Gold Jungle come racing back. There, both of them are level 6. You've seen a little bit of a minion advantage for Swooterman. There, he's going to get the friend advantage. Oh, so close. Just missing with that ult. You're seeing that Tryndamere able to finish off the damage. And Yi's looking to trade onto Kane, but does not want to queue in. In favor of Mordekaiser. Kane's going to go into the mid lane, but the ult being able to block with the wind wall. Double ult being able to land. Oh, so close. That was just so close to being able to be turned around from Yasuo, blocking the Veigar ultimate with the wind wall. Everyone see that? Wow, that was a big play. There, being able to get the slow onto Kane. Tryndamere, all kinds of damage against him. He's going to have to go ahead and use the ult. Picks up the single kill, gets the double buffs. And now Mikhail Tal is going to look to try to add on to this. Cassiopeia flashes, but doesn't go anywhere fast. Baron can't finish that off either. Gold Jungle once again getting the advantage. Early game is all them. You cannot go in there if you're Garen. Very fortunate that Orianna started taking all those tower shots. Wow, what a misplay. Or what a great play by Garen. One or the other. Depends on your perspective. With the wind wall, countering with the double knock-up into the ult. Loving that. And there on the other side of the map, we're seeing Kindred take as many turret shots as possible, flashing out immediately, and that is how you dive a turret at 10 minutes. A la Kindred. Teamfight dive at 10 minutes. All right, and I'm going to have to watch this action. Here we have the invade at level 2. Now, Kane just hit level 3, being able to get that camp, and you see that's one of the reasons why it's a little bit dangerous to be doing what he's doing. He's taking a fight with a whole level lower. Being able to dodge the CC is Mikhail Tal. He's got the double buffs versus the single buff of coin flip factor. And with the flash, he should be able to lock it up. First blood. Wow, being able to get the duel with a whole level down. Folks, that's an outplay. Absolutely. You don't need a caster to see that. Kindred appears to be on the dragon. Got 2 bars. Might have to use his smite a little early here. There he goes. But still should pick that up. We got our first gank coming in. Kane gonna try to turn this matchup. Picking up the second kill. Malphite now with 2 assists. He's definitely liking the start of this matchup much better than the first. Dragon for first blood. What do you prefer? Being able to get some damage onto Mikhail Tal. First death goes over, but it's going to trade right back by Cassiopeia. So far, 1 for 1. Swootermans does not have the damage to be able to finish off Mordekaiser there. Flashes to get away. Flip Factor has to continually run. So far, not the massively dominant performance, but here, the sudden death into the ultimate. Fight's going over as well into the Rift Herald. The fight on bot, there's fight on top. TP is going to try to trade this over. We're having Cassiopeia, and here they are. Markham Narwhals are coming right back with a vengeance. 500 gold lead now. 4 kills, 1 assist for Coin Flip Factor. Saying Grandmaster, I'll show you. But here, Coin Flip Factor. Gonna get some plates in mid lane. And then down to a single plate here, but the turret immediately went onto him. He ults to get the turret aggro off. It then shifts over to Flex, who's then following up damage with Tal Tal. And look at how much damage that was! That was a single Twin Shadows. Did you see that? That was about 15-20% of his life with a single Twin Shadows. Gets him into the death realm. And I was talking about plays from Thresh. There's one. Rotates the mid lane. Gets the death sentence on the mid laner. Secures the kill onto Flex. Yes, they're losing pressure onto bot, but shifting it over to mid lane, they're going to get... Swootermans giving up that wave. Doing so, knowing full well that this was the play. Now knows that he has his jungler coming. Mordekaiser has to know that there's another player coming just by how Malphite is acting. Malphite does have ult, and there he's going to use it underneath the tower. And the bait play! Shazam! Really nice. Really nice from Swooterman there. He started that well before Kane came into the lane. And Mordekaiser didn't immediately know that he was being ganked. But here, coming from behind, is the Akali. Going to try to help the Kindred. Kindred ult. Stopping anyone from going down right away. But now he doesn't have an escape tool. Cassiopeia finishing that off in the top. And that was a 3-for-0. Damn! We've got a... Tryndamere a little bit deep. The rest of the team is going to turn onto the Yi. Being able to take the Yi out first is Swooterman, but here in the back line, Tryndamere is being able to be taken off. Kane is going to look to back off there. And that was a 2-0 for Markham Narwhals. Once again, they're winning every team fight here in the last 6-7 minutes. But Thresh does not want to miss hooks. He just keeps landing everything. What a player. I'm loving this Thresh play. He's keeping his team in the game. He's making these plays that sets up these mid-game picks and these mid-game team fights. They're all coming off of Thresh hooks. CC'd into the back lines, and they're going to go for the team fight instead. They really want to do this. This is a 4-on-5. Immediately, you have Yi taken out. On the backside, Misfortune and Tryndamere are realizing this is a fight lost. Now, with that team fight win, they're going to decide whether they want to push or whether they want to go Baron. They have 3 members down. They're going to decide to push. They have a cannon minion wave here. In all likelihood, they take the inhibitor and they go towards Baron right after. But if they get this kill here, they can go to finish the game. Now we have 4 members down. The first one they're going to be up is going to be Thresh. Then it's going to be Master Yi. But you have 13 seconds here. And they're going to go for it. They see their chance. And they're not going to wait. They're not going to be indecisive. They're all as a team here. And they're going to try to finish this off. The ult is going to wear down very shortly. We have the ace. There, we're having a 2v1. Coin Flip Factor once again is being aggressed on. He is just so far behind at this moment that he cannot stay up for his team to help him. And now, Master Yi doing those things that he does. Real nice clear from Tryndamere. He knows how to clear waves with that champion. There he goes underneath the turret. Flash for flash. Garen could win that, but the E is able to beat the Q. And that first turret goes down. That vision on the bot side is blue, dabba dee dabba da. Blue vision, dabba dee dabba da. Hook coming in, right onto the coin flip factor. Juice Fruit's gonna get ulted on. He's going down, but he's fairly tanky. And once again, a second hook being landed. And now Tal is doing Tal things and going right deep on the rest of the team. Got the triple kill. He's going for the quad. Come on, friends. Let him get the quad. But Swooterman says, nah. And Bane's going to go in. She's got to have to try to pick something up here. And went a little bit too deep. Knows that she had to put some sort of kill streak together. And the 4-for-1 is going to mean a lot of damage on this mid turret. Oh, we've all seen Master Yi's do that, and we've all seen Bane's do that as well. If that sudden death lands, that's a different ball game. There, Callie underneath the tower, but it's going to go down to the poison. 2-for-1. Because they traded 2-for-1, but oh, Kane with the double knockup, being able to land right onto the Caitlyn. He's going to follow it up with the ult. Then Malphite's going to come in and say, not in my backyard. He's chasing him down, the purple beast. Flashes for that, and this is going to be a teleport that he's going to regret. 3-on-1. Mordekaiser gonna have a hard time getting away from this Ezreal. He just stood there. Question mark? Question mark? Knowing that death was right around the corner. There, Schwootermans is laughing at that. I keep laughing. Every time I see that play, I keep laughing. It's coming. It's a funny one. Mordekaiser watch it again. Has to know that there's another player coming just by how Malphite is acting. Malphite does have ult, and there he's going to use it underneath the tower. And the bait play! Shazam! Really nice. Really nice from Swooterman there. He started that one well already before seen. Must have been a double. Kane came into the lane. And Mordekaiser didn't meet. They're still not in this fight. He's not going to TP down, so you have a full 5v4. But this is how far that they were able to be ahead. And that's a 4-for-3. Game-changing from Markham Narwhals. Mordekaiser is going to continue to push. He had a choice there, whether the TP in or push. Decided to push. It's the lower risk. And there you have it. The quarterfinals action. Markham Narwhals, lots of plays then, lots of plays now. Defeating the Dolphins 2-0, and they're going to be meeting the Belleville Mole Rats. We have our best of 5 series going to be happening on Thursday. Come watch as we can see whether Markham Narwhals are able to run the gauntlet, win every series, 5 series in a row, and win this final. That would be picturesque if you could ever think of one. But until then, they're going to have to beat that Belleville Mole Rats team, which just beat the Dolphins 2-0 and did have more wins in the regular season. So who's going to win? Your guess is as good as mine. But I know one thing's for sure. I'll see you then.